Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren Messiah. I am a personal stylist, a coach and educator to stylist, and a mother to be. I am currently 35 weeks pregnant, so in a couple weeks, I will be launching this child out into the world. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the style mistakes that I made in my first trimester of pregnancy. So now in my third trimester, we're honestly like second, third trimester, loving style and pregnancy, like loving it. Okay. First, not so much. So in my first trimester of pregnancy, this is my first pregnancy. Didn't plan on getting pregnant, didn't think about style in pregnancy, like never crossed my mind until it had to cross my mind. And, you see pregnant women on like TV and you're like, oh, it's just them with like a cute little basketball stomach. Like, that's pregnancy. Well, in the first trimester, you are bloated, at least I was bloated, puffy. Nobody knew I was pregnant. So I felt very self-conscious wearing like tight clothing because, like, will they find out or will they just think I've just been eating, pizzas and burritos every day? Very self-conscious about my body and what I should be wearing. And for me in the first trimester, very quickly things stopped fitting. Like, I know that there's a lot of pregnant women that are like, I've been wearing my, pre-pregnancy clothes like up until almost the very end. Not the case for me. Like, buttons were snug. It was just not cute. So I launched into what I know best, which is style, what I can control, which is my style. And I'm like, we're fixing this. Okay. I don't like this. We're fixing it. I made some good decisions, but I also made a lot of bad decisions in the first trimester. So here are four mistakes that I made in the first trimester. So hopefully, anyone out there who is expecting, you can learn from my mistakes. So the first mistake was panic buying. Me as a personal stylist, I've been a personal stylist for over 15 years now. I know that developing a great sense of style cannot be rushed. It's not something where you just like head to the mall and start shopping or add to cart or create a Pinterest board and then run out shopping. I know this. However, in my first trimester, when things weren't fitting and I wasn't feeling confident in myself, I just ran out and went shopping. So I ran out to like, I don't really do fast fashion, but for pregnancy, I was like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on maternity clothes. I'll just figure it out. I was like panic buying at Zara, was panic buying at H&M. Then I did some panic buying at my favorite vintage store. Although those buys I actually did end up wearing, although later in the pregnancy, some of the things I wore once and never wore again. Like, the point is, panic buying bad. It's bad when you're not pregnant. It's bad when you are pregnant. No panic buying. So I wish if I could like go back in my little like maternity time machine that I would have just taken a beat. I would have looked in my closet and realized there was a lot of stuff that I could wear that I already owned to feel fine and confident. And I wish that I had done more of the like body image internal work, which also I'm very familiar with being a stylist for so long and doing so much research on body image and style. I wish that I had just kind of calmed the F down and stopped the panic buying. The second mistake that I made that is related to the panic buy is purchasing maternity clothing too soon. Now, I'll talk about this in an upcoming video, but there's a lot of like shame and also confusion around purchasing maternity clothing. Like, there's a lot of pregnant women who are like, ugh, gross, maternity clothes. Like I didn't have to wear maternity clothes at all during my pregnancy. And then you feel like, well, then is it like bad and lame if I wear maternity clothes? I can't fit into non-maternity clothes. And there's also the argument that like maternity clothes kind of suck. A lot of them suck. It's come a long way, but a lot of them suck. And there are ways to wear like non-maternity clothes throughout your pregnancy. Like I'm wearing a John Paul Gaultier dress that is definitely not maternity, and I am 35 weeks pregnant. So I'll go more into that on a future video. But the mistake that I made is when I was really like barely showing, I'll look back at photos of me in the first trimester where I'm like, I'm huge. I was like, I really wasn't huge. I bought a lot of maternity clothes and they were too big for me in the first trimester. And then by the time I got to the second trimester, I had already figured out my style and got it dialed and on point that I didn't wear any of that stuff. And now in the third trimester, where things are like very uncomfortable, damn maternity clothes barely fit and they're ugly anyways. So I wish that I didn't start buying maternity items that soon into my pregnancy. I wish that I had either not done it at all. Again, we'll talk about that in a future video, or I had bought it while I was further along and then I could like figure things out better. The third mistake that I made was buying multiples. Like, I don't know why I did this. Again, as a rational personal stylist who's been doing this forever and who knows her stuff, let's just blame the pregnancy hormones, okay? I was buying like multiples. So one of the things, and this is in a past video where I talk about like bike shorts in pregnancy, because that's something you're like, oh, I'm never going to wear bike shorts. And then you're pregnant, you're like, bring on the bike shorts, baby. So I bought a pair that were non-maternity from Naked Wardrobe. I got them at Nordstrom Rack. And I was like, this is great. If I were to buy multiples, I wish that I just bought two of that same pair because they were cheap. And when one's in the wash and you don't know what to wear, you wish you had a second. But instead, I started buying all sorts of black biker shorts. And I only like the one pair. So I ended up wasting money and wasting space on these other pairs. Same with like black leggings, something I did not want to be wearing in pregnancy, but sometimes you kind of have to, especially for doing like workouts. I'd buy multiples of all different brands when I already found one brand that I really loved and enjoyed. So this kind of all fits under that like panic buying umbrella, like the maternity clothes, buying multiples, just going on shopping sprees for places that you normally wouldn't even entertain giving your money to. Like, I just wish I had slowed down and just like enjoyed slash learned from each phase, which is why I'm sharing this information with you. Like wearing those bike shorts, some days those were just like, this is what we're wearing. I first found out I was pregnant in early June is when I found out I was 5 weeks pregnant in June. So like I was summertime months, I was hot. So it would have been cool to buy two pair of $10 bike shorts instead of five pair that varied in price points and cuts. And it's just, ugh, right? No multiples. I'll end it there. Okay. And then finally, number 4 is, and this is probably like panic buying, huge. We can put the other things under that umbrella. But this one, like pay attention if you've gotten lost, is purchasing in the first trimester for the second and third trimesters. So it kind of connects a little bit with buying maternity clothes, but like I was buying things thinking about like how huge I was going to get in the very beginning without having the experience of ever being pregnant or ever really like taking the time to think about the different style phases through the trimesters. So I was buying these like giant caftans, which I've been wearing towards the end of my pregnancy, but I spent all of this money on them in the first trimester, coupled with the panic buying. I was just buying based on silhouette, like, oh, this is big, I'll be able to wear this like throughout the pregnancy, or like, oh, this is stretchy, I'll be able to wear this throughout the pregnancy, but I didn't even really like it. So I was thinking about my pregnancy and the style related to my pregnancy as like, oh, like this is going to be so awful. So I have to prepare for the awful and just buy like whatever's there and just get everything done in this first, month or week during the panic period and like buy everything for the whole entire pregnancy. You cannot buy your pregnancy wardrobe in one foul swoop. Like, you can't do it. You could try. I don't recommend it. There's definitely like a style by trimester method that you should be following, which I will be sharing with you because I've been developing this throughout the pregnancy, where you really need to buy in phases because so many things change in terms of your body. And also, like, not being in the state of like, oh no, I'm going to be a mom now. So now I just wear leggings and big frumpy dresses and it doesn't matter. And let me just get all this shit now and just not have to worry about it. My style has grown in such a way where I still feel very much like myself. I feel empowered and excited for this next chapter of my life. I feel like I didn't lose myself. But in that first trimester, I definitely felt like this is the spot where I could lose myself in my style and my style. So that's where those mistakes started coming in, and I was able to recognize them and stop myself going forward. Sure, I wasted a lot of money and there's things hanging in my closet like, what was I thinking? Hormones, baby. I don't know. But you should not try to style yourself for your whole entire pregnancy in the beginning. It's a slow process, it's a discovery process. It can actually be very fun and empowering. So, those are the mistakes. If you've been pregnant before, if you're a mom and you had some mistakes, share them in the comments. Or if you're like, oh yeah, like you're totally spot on here, let me know in the comments so I know I'm not alone. And moms to be, if you have any style questions around maternity style, feel free to ask me because I will be doing more videos on maternity style. So drop in your questions and I'll answer them on video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.